Hi, Omi.
Hello everybody and welcome to practice 2 for the Grand Prix of Hungaroring. Let's cross over. Ready up in the commentary box for practice 2. Welcome to Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix. The 2023 season is launching into atmosphere for the halfway stage of this incredible campaign. The cities of Buda and Pest together, the Hungaroring is an awesome circuit. It was a wet first practice session. More rain is due to come in, which means the first opening 20 minutes or so of the session is going to be incredibly crucial. It says round 12, but it will never happen. This is round 11 of the series campaign. 4.381 kilometre circuit, 2.722 miles, full throttle for 55.29% of the lap as well. Elevation change is up, and everything looks very much as an exciting racetrack. Apologies, I must say, first of all, for the different timing tower. The T-feed has crashed, so we've got our separate graphics up. We'll show you more details in a few moments. C5 soft, C4 medium, C3 hard, in case we need them, green inter and blue wet. But limited compounds this weekend as we're into our new qualifying procedure as well. So it's going to be a very interesting little look-sees into the weekend, but practice 2 is moments away. Alongside me in the commentary box is Adam and Omi. And Adam, welcome to you. Apologies, by the way, we're on here later and literally just before the session started. Because some genius decided to schedule a 5-minute gap between Formula 2 and Formula 1, it's hard to get quite quick. So we're just changing over timing towers. The T-feed has crashed, so we're on the delayed timing as well. So we're going to have new messages cropping up. We'll see in a second. But hello, Adam. How are you doing? Doing well?
Doing really well, Josh. And hello, everyone. And I can say from all of us, welcome back, Honey Badger. Since it is so nice to see Daniel Ricciardo back in F1, you know, for the rest of the year with AlphaTauri, and he wants to put on he wants to do really well here at Hungary and going forward, because as we've already seen in FD1, Sergio Perez crashed his Red Bull and he hasn't really had a strong year. So would we see a change in the second seat in the near, you know, maybe not next year, but the year after, the Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen together? I think it could eventually happen.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those weekends, isn't it, where we could see quite an interesting turn of events. Perez crashed this morning as well. Danny Rick back in, doing incredibly well. But not everybody got Delta times out, which is one thing you've got to take a look at, as George Russell was actually the fastest driver this morning, Omi. And I think we're going to see something a bit different coming into it. Fingers crossed, though, it's going to be a good event.
Yeah, fingers crossed indeed that it is going to be a good event. But hoping that we get another exciting practice. Would prefer it this time to stay a bit more dry rather than everyone just peeling into the pits. But it could give us a very interesting FP3 as well. Um, so really going to be looking forward to this. Perez, after the crash in FP1, he really does need to get it together. The pressure is starting to really get to him with Ricardo now there, and obviously Sonoda was at a moment as well in practice. So Ricardo being there, giving a lot of headaches to a lot of the other drivers. But hopefully Perez is able to get it together. But to be honest, I wouldn't mind if he doesn't, because I wouldn't mind seeing Ricardo back in the Red Bull. So gonna be very interesting. But Perez, he qualifying every weekend, even if he does make it through into Q3, which is basically the minimum that he should be doing in that Red Bull. But
Yeah.
yeah, even yeah, but he's already made a mistake this weekend, so he's already ruined it somewhat. So even if he does make it to Q3, I don't think anyone can be happy with Perez this weekend, because a crash in FP1, and still we have FP2, FP3, and obviously qualifying in the race to go. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. But Adam, as we didn't obviously have you earlier on, as we haven't spoken to you for a while, what was your thoughts on the Perez crash?
Um, it's been a struggle this year with Checo. And we've seen now that he hasn't done it as good as his teammate this year. And Checo needs to find a way to turn it around. We're halfway into the season now, so if I'm Sergio Perez, I'm gonna have to go out and give it my all. Put all the chips in the middle and just go out and do the best job I can, since we have Daniel Ricciardo now back in F1 at AlphaTauri. So I think Sergio's gonna have to improve a whole lot as we get closer to the summer break. And you know I feel so bad for him. His teammate has been really dominating this year, and he hasn't really done nothing. So it's like um Checo needs to turn around, and I mean in a hurry.
Just want to show you, these are our new graphics because the T feed has crashed. Literally, it's showing every single driver from the previous session on my side. And now it's showing no active session. So the T feed has crashed a little bit. I don't know what it's showing on everybody else's. Oh, now it's back to normal. Of course it is. Of course it is. Which means we can switch back. But this is our graphics that we've got at the moment. But this is what we're toying with, the idea of mini sectors, the tyres everybody's using, and their delta times. So that's what we've sort of got up here in the comms box. And we've also got the race control messages just a little bit more easier to tell up here. So let us know if you like it or not, because the T feed so far is not working on my side. So should we switch back? Do we leave it as it is? Just let us know in the chat. Looks good. Go on.
Leave it the way it is, Josh. It's called I Can Say I Love It.
All right, well, we'll leave it as it is then for this one.
Thank you.
To come into it. Delta times coming through. Albon setting faster times, which is always a slight worry because that Williams was rapid this morning. And hopefully it'll change up soon. Just have a look. Yeah, 28.8 first sector, 28.3 second sector, but Sargent, his teammate, 28.804, 28.319. So Sargent's going quicker. Albon's out there on 2-lap-old soft compound tyres. Sargent's out there on brand new compound of softs. And Alonso's up there too, actually. Alonso looking quick. Albon ahead of Alonso. Then Sargent goes up into the mix as well, doing a 119.490. So again, just slowly taking in this weekend and taking up their delta times, hopefully towards more of the maximum that we like to see and need to see. The green light is on, by the way. The race control messages are the pure race control messages. Would be nice. Would be nice to see tyres with their lap wear for the race. Yeah, well, we've got that, so we can show that in on the commentary. I'll see if we can get that graphic alongside, because It shows us right now what they're on. So let's go over it and display it quickly. This is it. This is the full screen view. So this is what I've got on my timing monitor right now. There's obviously the Delta times, race control messages, local times, speed traps for all the fastest drivers. They're on the bottom there. But they haven't said anything yet. Then we've got the mini sectors, so it tells us where they're improving and where they're not, across sectors 1, 2, 3 as well. Then in the centre, the stints, that's the tyre graphics. So look, the yellow bar with 2, that's mediums for 2 laps, Sargent 2-lap old softs, and if they're greyed out, that means they're older tyres that are being used. So that's our graphical system. We were toying with the idea of introducing it this weekend, but also introducing it back at the next in Belgium. But it's hard because it's not always working.
Yeah, and also, just 2 things. First of all, Adam, absolutely agree with you on the Perez point, obviously in pushing more, which does cause more mistakes. However, also, you know the fan who was crying in FP1
Yes.
about Perez crashing? He actually got to meet Perez. So is that how you meet your hero? Is that how you meet your hero? Now? You gotta cry. So Josh, can we please get some fake tears and stuff to meet drivers?
What about Alex Jakes?
Wow. Well, how do I meet
work
Alex?
out.
I need to get an Alex Jake shirt or a t-shirt or something.
Well,
and
let me tell you something. Alex Jakes has been active on Instagram today, but I can't tell when. It just says active today, so he hasn't been on Instagram for over 8 hours. Alex Jakes.
I'd honestly want to meet Alex Jakes rather than an F1 driver, to be honest.
Yes. Does that
That's
work?
just me, though. That's just me.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, we're trying some things as well. If that timing tower works, then that timing tower works. Here's the fastest then, in terms of car development. Red Bull is still the fastest. Ferrari has lost 0.6 of a second. Mercedes have gained 0.2 of a second. McLaren have gained 0.7 of a second. Alpine have gained 0.3 of a second. Aston Martin have lost 0.05 of a second. So that's half a tenth. Williams have lost 0.43, so they've gained actually 4 tenths. Haas have lost 0.05. AlphaTauri is up a tenth, as is Alfa Romeo. So that is the improvements, and I think the biggest improvement comes from McLaren from last time out, but also Williams, I think, Adam, is the one there that we have to say they've improved the most.
Yeah. When we go back to the action at the British Grand Prix in Silverstone, you saw Logan Sargent and Alex Albon. They're up there for practice qualifying, and now we're here at the legendary Hungaroring. So as we get into the second half of the season, I could see Logan Sargent scoring points, and I could see Alex Albon possibly contending for some podiums. It may be a stretch, but those Williams have improved since the British Grand Prix. They've looked strong on track so far in FP1, so don't be surprised if Williams scores some points this weekend, and Logan Sargent could score some points here at the Hungaroring, but I think that would be a stretch.
It's going to be actually really, really interesting this weekend. As I said yesterday in the preview show, I'm kind of predicting there to be a bit of a McLaren just going a tiny bit backwards for this weekend, but then bouncing back in Belgium. I think Aston could do very well here, like they did in Monaco. I think Ferrari, Mercedes are also going to be in there. So those are the teams I'm actually predicting to do well this weekend, as I said in the preview. But I'm expecting McLaren to just take a bit of a step back this weekend, but then bounce back in Belgium. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what is actually going to happen. But I mean, I've predicted so many things that I'm probably going to get at least one right. I haven't gone with Red Bull though. I haven't gone with Red Bull, so.
I was wondering what you were on with that one as well. Let's try and have a quick look to see if there's actually anything on the deltas we can do, because I was wondering, does this delayed timing have like a dark mode active that you can put on? That would be quite fun. A nice, because then it'll match the graphics, and I'll definitely want to keep it, but it doesn't look like it does. It's all in grey, which is fine, but I don't want to change the graphics to grey because it's, I don't know, does it work? I'm sort of in the mind, because I like the old one because it shows you all the names, but I don't know. I'm trying to have a look at it now. It looks alright. Russell's having a slow garter up. to get going again.
Let me actually check out how it looks on the screen.
I'm having a look at it. I don't know.
Graphic.
What do you think?
I'm actually going to take a look. I'm just waiting for the advert to quickly end. Oh, there we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I can skip
Thing is,
this one.
I-
Well, it's a bit different though. That's the thing. It's a bit different.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it, but obviously I can understand where you're coming from. That we cannot see the
Full names.
It's basically just what. It's exactly what you see on the world feed.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
just SAR, bot, NOR.
The only thing I really like about it is the race control messages because they come up in full, which is always a big thing for me because if we see them, you should see them at home as well. So that's a positive. It's just
more colourful though.
yeah, the time of day it is more colourful. I don't know. I think we need
I
to.
like that.
It is.
Right, I'm going to put a vote in the chat. Start a poll. Do you like the new timing graphics better
One person.
than the old?
Yes.
Am I allowed to vote?
Yeah. Oh, where we go.
Okay. Do you like the new
Yeah.
graphics better than the old? I've already.
I
Let's
vote.
hear from Russell.
I think Adam.
Josh, I voted yes. I voted yes. I voted yes.
Yeah, because I like them as well, and that's the thing. It's sort of like you can now create more stuff as well.
Yeah.
Because we've
Yes.
got a lot more data. Because on the T feed, it's incredibly restricted. But on this delayed timing, we've literally got so much more data that we can share to you back at home, which I think is always better. But it's just, it's a few of the issues as well that I noticed. And that I'll figure out a way to get around it. I think I've got a way around it actually as well that I can sort, so that we have the best of both worlds.
Oh.
Alonso coming in, having a little bit of delta change. There's he at the moment on the timing screen. 6th fastest, 119.115 is his best lap time. And he's out there as well on the medium compound tyre down towards turn 1. So a lot more action already in this session compared to the last. Always better, always good.
All votes and not everyone saying yes. So looks like we're all in agreement, Josh.
Cameron's dad says looks a lot better. Okay. Do I change the top to match the same colour? Do I leave it black? I don't know. Because then I've got to change the bottom one as well with the cook. I don't know.
We're getting Josh to do a lot of work with this.
I like it. I think it pops as it is. I'm slowly getting
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah. I would leave it alone, Josh.
Yeah,
I would
it
leave
looks
it
all
alone.
good now.
Remember?
It's going to drive him at the
Yeah.
wall.
It looks a lot better. It truly looks a lot better.
I'll fiddle around with it then after practice to make it permanent. Because the T-feed has been crashing a lot recently. It freezes up the
Yes, it
computer
has.
as well. So
I
we'll,
mean, who needs the T
yeah.
feed if we have this?
yeah.
If it's doing the job and it's working better for us, then yeah, we'll just go with this one then.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It looks a lot cleaner too.
Yeah, it does actually, yeah. And I like the colours with the teams. It's something I've wanted to introduce for a while. And also, the colours of the teams match the colours on the driver tracker as well, which is nice similarity. So,
Yes, that's yes, Josh. Yeah, I don't know.
Ah, I'm going to leave
You
it,
could
yeah.
sort of say, you could sort of say I'm wearing Williams blue.
You are.
Thank you.
We're all wearing a shade of blue actually in the complex at the moment. That's something I've just noticed.
Nice.
I didn't
mean-
decide to go with a Ferrari shirt today.
Oh yeah, you're not in for
Yeah,
it.
so I saw
had
it
it.
for F1.
I've had a bit of
yeah.
enough. I've had enough of the Ferrari. I've had enough of Ferrari for.
Yeah.
3 weeks
Yes.
now,
Yes,
so-
Omen.
You won't.
You know.
And also for Belgium, I'm planning on wearing maybe a shirt, maybe joining
Oh,
Josh
yes.
for once with a bit of shirts and not dressing comfortable. instead dressing more like I'm at work.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, that'll do. I just need to find somewhere to put the driver tracker now. We'll have to put the driver tracker back in place. It'll work. We'll see.
works.
I've got an
It
idea.
works.
Yeah. Because the one thing we use on the T feed is the lap counter and everything else, but this has a lap counter built into it as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, but it's in grey, not black. So it's like you'd have to transform the whole system again, which is what I was planning to do in 2024. But we've accelerated it. Because next year was going to be a major graphical overhaul of everything. I suppose we could do it now.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, would have
Nice.
been good. Yeah,
Nice. Okay.
definitely. Josh,
Yeah.
have you ever done a competitive session like, okay, other than the 24-hour Le Mans, have you done a competitive session like sitting down and then you randomly jump up? Has it happened?
PSGL,
Or are
I
you always
think.
just standing up or just...
No, I take a seat if I need to. And I don't know, there's a couple of times where I've jumped up and needed to if I'm sat down.
sit down and then rocketly jump up?
Yeah, like, look, I'll sit down now, but...
As soon as Perez finds the wall, back up.
Oh, we go. It's the camera angle as well. Because I do sit down a bit in the box during a practice session, but if it's qualifying on the race, I'm standing up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Perez. There we go. Coming out of the pit lane now. Does he hit the pit wall exit? No, he gets away with it. Lost 1
Now,
hour.
I can't actually remember what Epic called me yesterday. Basically, we obviously had the commentary together for the social race in WR. I don't even know what we were talking about, but I think he was saying something about how much I move my hands around and how much I can't stop
Yes.
jumping.
Yes.
So I can't remember what exactly. It was a very interesting word he used, but I can't exactly remember what it actually was. But I do jump around or move my hands quite a bit because the fists go up and it's just a bit too much, to be honest.
I was wondering where you were going with all this.
Again, you're always wondering what I'm actually talking about because
We
I
are.
like waffling on.
Although it's always fun having you up in the box.
Hmm.
Don't know.
And
I don't
me.
know.
Always
If
find some-
sorry, I don't know if it's because I don't like change midway through the season. I don't know. It's bugging me. It really is bugging me.
Well, okay. Well, it would have been very different for you just having me in the box in Saudi, right at the beginning of the year.
That is true. Yeah.
Just a completely new, different voice, and also I was too quiet at the time as well, so you could barely understand what was going on.
That is
with
true.
me.
You are. You didn't start the season with us, although you just. It's one round. Not everybody was in round one. So you can be forgiven for that. We're not going to send the executioners just yet. Right, just zooming in on the driver tracker now. The one positive is that I can have the driver tracker up in the main box as big as we like to see things. So that's a
Good.
positive.
Cool. Cool.
On board with Hamilton now. What's he done? Oh, sorry, this is Lando
No.
Norris. Same engine. He's scraping a lot on the
wondering.
floor. A lot of proportion.
I don't think it's hurting anything though. Okay, understood.
Carries on.
Yeah, still quite a bit of bottom, you say. I don't think it's quite hurting anything, he says. But yeah, that's coming through at that part of the circuit. Zhou Guan Yu. Oops. And that's Russell ahead of him. And he puts his hand up to say, what were you doing? Are you blind? And
Yeah.
so he'll get going again. Just a little bit of anger there, wasn't it, Adam?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and well, let's switch over. You know, this weekend the NTT IndyCar Series is at the short track in Iowa, and Alex Palou has over a 100-point lead, but he's never done really good at Iowa. So, so Josh, I'll start with you. Do you think, as of right now, Alex Palou has one hand on the NTT IndyCar Series trophy?
I think he does. I'll go with this because if you think about the domination he's had in the past couple of seasons, in the past couple of weeks. 2 seconds though, because we're going to go down to Martin Brundle.
Mate.
Good afternoon, hello everybody. Yeah, I'm in a spot I really enjoy coming to. It's the top of a blind crest into turn 4. Minimum speed through here about 155 miles an hour. Not without Williams because it's on an in or an out lap. And all these photographers down there tells you that it's a wonderful spot. And they were also telling me a little bit earlier on that a very good number of them were able to photograph the underneath of the Red Bull when it crashed with Sergio Perez earlier on, which I'm sure will be most useful to other teams. And a lot of pain for Red Bull to, on their updated car to have that all photographed again. Inconvenient sign here, says fire, but of course it's sort of fairly low budget, but does a very important job because it tells a driver who has a problem on track to get in here, because you will find some fire extinguishers. But what we're interested in is the track. Now, the red curb there on the outside is the target. If you go onto the green part, then the car hits the ground. You saw that yellow dust coming up. That's the plank. I can smell that standing here burning away, because they turn into a headwind, which give them wonderful grip. That car's not full beans. So if they drop onto the green, the right-hand rear tyre goes a little bit further down, then the car hits the ground. You can hear the tyres, the frequency of the tyre rattling over the curb, the serrations of the curb. You can hear the bottom of the car grinding along the ground, and still they're flat out. And then you'll see a big swerve to the left, and that is exactly there where Sergio Perez overcompensated in free practice. As we see the McLaren flick across there, just went a little bit too far and had an accident. Really bizarre in that respect. But when you see from this angle the swerve across the track, you can understand how they might be getting that wrong if they go just a little bit too far. Blue flag's waving there for the Mercedes to let it know it's got a faster car behind it. So true confidence here from the drivers to come up over that blind crest and pin it, as Lewis Hamilton did there. Just off the throttle a little bit, bang, straight down onto it. And again, Carlos Sainz then, you can see the red lights flashing as they harvest a little bit of battery power on the way into turn 5. It is pure energy down there. Energy output, energy on the curbs, energy recovery, flicking across the track, asking everything of a Formula One car. We're going to move on.
Cheers, Martin. Right, if I've got this button working, I think I have. Yes, okay, right. Direct comparison now to help people decide if it works. So, you ready? This is the new one. Old one. So, old timing tower compared to new timing tower. What do you like? There's the new.
No.
There's
No.
the old.
New.
And there's the new. Don't know.
I like the new one, Josh. It's more colorful.
It is.
Me and
It is.
Adam are all after colours.
Yes, we
Right.
are, aren't we?
Someone has put no though. So yeah, we're compared
I
to
saw
the-
that.
Yeah. So there's the new and there's the old. But we've now got a system where we can have both on at the same time. So there's the old compared to the new. But we can also keep, look, if I take to battle screen, we can keep the battle screen as it is. But we can also take a look at the data screen, which has got all the information on. So you sort of get the best of both worlds, including keeping the race control messages alive. So
Liking this.
yeah, let me know. I
How
don't
about
know.
both of them?
I know it's really it's bugging me like crazy because of it. Because I don't know. I think the timing tower makes more sense black, but it's got the colours. I don't know. I want the race control messages though. I want the hybrid of both. That's what I want. I want the both hybrid power, and it's not going to work as you think it might. As
Full name with.
go on.
You basically want full name with colours on the first one.
Yeah, full name and colours.
Yeah, and then it is really, really hard. But I think we were talking about
Yeah.
Alex Palau, weren't we?
Yes, we were. Right. I think he could be
Well,
the
back onto
champion. I think he could be the champion for IndyCar quite quickly. He's won 4 in a row now, isn't it? It looks brilliant. So go on. No, 3 in a row. Then he lost out last time out to Lundgaard. But what do you think, Adam? Do you think he could do it? And then what about
Yeah,
him?
I truly do. I mean, we know Iowa's not one of his better tracks, but we've got the IMS road course coming up. We have Gateway, we have Portland, we have Laguna Seca. So I think Alex Palou is going to win the NTT IndyCar Series Championship this year. Also, to let our viewers know, if you haven't already done it, Guide to Grid Network here on YouTube, because Joe Samaniego will be on site for the NTT IndyCar Series Grand Prix of Portland over Labor Day weekend, and he'll have plenty of interviews with the drivers and videos. So subscribe to Grid Network, and they'll keep you updated on everything associated with motorsports. And I can say, Josh, I missed you being on Grid tonight.
I am back this weekend as well. We've had to switch off the other data screen at the moment because it got a flashing. It's not ready yet. I knew it wasn't. It's flashed off. So the other data screen has been telling me that it's reaching its limit. It keeps freezing the stream. So I've had to switch it off. But let me know. I want to know, was that better or was the new one, different? Because that's what we're looking at changing to next year. And I will fiddle around with it overnight. Because if I can get this timing tower, Stroll goes fastest, 118.3. If I can get everything set up correctly, I want that better. I want that instead. Absolutely, hands down, want that instead. Because it just works a lot easier with things as well, up here in the comms box. So we'll double check. Also, it's the race control messages I like. I like those race control messages. So I'm going to fiddle around with it this evening and see if I can get it sorted on both so that we can have best of both worlds somehow.
Nice.
Sonoda's gone top, 117.9. So the times are coming in, but yeah. So I'll end that poll now with everybody saying it was very close. 67% said yes, 33% said no between it. So there were some differences people found. Let us know in the chat. This is where I need feedback. Because now look, we're back to the original stuff. But this is where I need feedback from everybody. Because I like that, but I like the race control messages, the new one. So we're a hybrid of both? Or what? Just let us know. Let us know in the chat. I want to know. What would like to see on the graphic package? Because that's what it's all about. That's what this practice session is going to be about. Testing out things.
Yep, and also I'll just quickly give my thoughts on the IndyCar thing as well. Absolutely, Verstappen goes third, but absolutely he can. He's been absolutely phenomenal, and I think I remember a few races ago I've basically been predicting Palau for every one of them because he's always up there, always fighting for that win. And yeah, he's won so many races. So he's basically the Verstappen currently of IndyCar. Absolutely dominant, phenomenal stuff by him. Incredible. So I'm really, so I really do think that he is gonna, he's definitely gonna win this year's championship, and he's kind of running a tiny bit away with it. So incredible stuff by him, but it looks like he is on his way to the title.
Mental note, I'm just trying to figure everything out. Because it's the lap counter we use. Oh, I've just realised something. Is that changed the lap counter? Because everything's shifted downwards. Let me just check something. Has it shifted that lap counter to somewhere? Yes, it has. Oh, I'm glad I noticed that now. Right, let me just fix the lap counter because we need that on Sunday, regardless.
Yes, you do.
Yep.
So let me get that sorted now. This is how I do it, though. I literally have to zoom it up. It's coming from the T feed, and I manually put it in. That's how you get the lap counter activated. There we go. And there, right. So we're not on lap 11, but we're just having to fix the lap counter because OBS has decided to be. That's why I don't like the T feed. It's so difficult to get it sorted. Right, where's the lap counter? There we go. Right, let's switch that off now and go back to the session counter. There we go. Seeing everything today. This is all. The reason I'm having so many troubles today, by the way, is because Formula 2 ended 5 minutes before the start of this program. That's how much we need a bigger gap because we've got to switch over everything from Twitch and everything onto OBS as well. It's a nightmare. Is Ted in the pit lane? He is. Ted.
We saw his teammate Yuki Tsunoda go out on. When they were on the same set of tyres, Yuki, just a few minutes ago, Yuki was a 10th quicker than Ricciardo. Now look at that how you want. I'll look at it with a glass half empty, half full way, and say that in a car he's never driven, that's pretty good going from Daniel Ricciardo. Don't you think? But
yeah.
I would refer you back to something that Franz Tost said in an interview we did, which you'll be able to see on skysports.com/F1, all our social media channels, in the break after the Team Boss's press conference, where he said Daniel has to watch out because Yuki is a quick racing driver. And I thought that was interesting. So I said, would you expect Ricciardo to beat Tsunoda immediately? And Tost gave a little warning there, saying, don't underestimate Yuki, which I thought was key. So we'll follow that one. But yeah, Ricciardo's on his way. He'll be halfway through his outlap now, and then we'll see what he's got on the soft tire.
Cheers, Ted. So, Esteban Ocon in the pit lane. Has he had an unsafe release? Yes, he has. And it was by one of the Alpha Tauris.
Almost crashed into Tsunoda there.
Well, unless there was a,
Okay, copy that. We'll just take a look at that.
there was a yellow.
It was Sonoda, so that's going to be a bit of a worry there. Yeah, so I'll fiddle around with it and get the best of both worlds set up for the weekend. And of course, Adam, who's going to be with us quite a bit because he's with us for qualifying tomorrow. And he's also with us for the Iowa race, race number 1.
Yes,
of the
I
day.
am. I am. It's called. I think it's my first time doing IndyCar race with you, Josh, since I think the Indy 500. So
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, and for those of you who are gonna watch here this weekend, because I want to give some perspective of the Grand Marshals for the IndyCar races at Iowa this weekend. The Grand Marshal for the IndyCar race on Saturday is a very well-known lady in the sport of women's college basketball here in the United States. Her name is Caitlin Clark, and what she did in women's college basketball this year was sensational. She was one of the best females ever to play women's college basketball. So she is the Grand Marshal for the Iowa race on Saturday, and then on Sunday, for you international viewers, we have college football over here in the United States, and the head coach of the University of Iowa football team, Clark Ferentz, he is going to be the Grand Marshal for the IndyCar race on Sunday. So, kind of an Iowa, really cool to have two people from the University of Iowa, being Grand Marshals on Saturday and Sunday. So, so look for, and I'll get into more about Caitlin Clark tomorrow on the pre-race show.
Looking forward to that.
IndyCar race.
Looking.
So yeah, and we have Checo Perez doing a huge lockup on screen, and
Tell you
I'll
what.
start with you on this one, Josh. Do you think Checo Perez's time at Red Bull is about to be over?
I think it was over 3 races ago, to be fair. I think this whole thing with Danny Ricciardo is they're giving him 2 races to warm up before the summer break, and then I'm fully expecting by the time we get to Zandvoort, Perez will not be in that car. But there's one reason why. That would effectively hand Max Verstappen the World Championship at Zandvoort. Because if Perez goes to AlphaTauri, there is no competition. Max can literally just cruise to the end of the year. And that's it.
True.
So, that's it. I honestly think they'll change. And as soon as they do, that's it. Perez is gone. Just want to quickly, about Ricciardo. He has just done a lap time. And I'm trying to see where he is on the timing screen, but it keeps changing to see where he is. Ricciardo is 11th. Danny Ricciardo is 11th, but my timing screen's not showing him. I've got Norris, Tsunoda, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Alonso, Zhou, Verstappen, Stroll, Bottas, Albon, and then it goes straight to Magnussen. So I have not got Danny Ricciardo on the T-feed. Sorry, on the timing tower. I've got him on the T-feed, but I've not got him on the F1 delayed timing. So there's an error with the new system. That's what I was telling you about. That's what I was getting. It's like it's not ready yet, so the system's deleting some of the drivers. Has it come back in? No. So that's what I mean. Like, it's not quite ready yet. It'll be ready for 2024, but it's not quite. Hang on a minute. Albon 11. So yeah, now it's deleted to P12. So it's not quite ready yet. It needs some work, as Gasly's gone second on a 17.918. But yeah, we've got a major graphics overhaul planned for next season that we're testing and we're sort of demoing, and we'll do a practice session with the new graphics at some point this year just to give them a rundown. The Sky F1 commentary box. Let's go over. Harry Benjamin.
Braden and Headmaster Harry on duty. Over to you guys.
What?
Thank you very much, Crofty. We are having so much fun getting to grips with commentary for Free Practice 2, but you're quite right. I am not alone. Braden and Zach are alongside me. Now, Braden, this is both of yours. First time in a commentary box. First thoughts?
I am loving it. Harry's been looking after us. Cheers, Harry. No, but it's great to be up here. I'm getting used to it now. You know, I've got the screens. I can see the pit lane. I've got a good view. The fastest lap times here. You know, I'm just settling in at the moment, and as I say, Harry's been lovely looking after us, showing us around. But yeah, it's a good first time.
And Zach, you're quite the karter as well, so you're good behind a wheel. Now you're behind a mic. Big difference?
Well, yeah, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it is a big difference. Driving and commentating isn't the same thing. But yeah, as Braden said, it's a brilliant view out here, straight to the pit lane. Also, if you look all the way back down there, we get a massive grandstand over there. And I love this screen here. The screen where we see all the manuals, real data analysis screen, really. But yeah, it's really great.
It's a real awesome insight, isn't it? Now we're, 25 minutes left of practice 2, Braden. Of course, we had FP1 as well, which was affected by the wet weather. And the big news coming into the weekend was all around Red Bull, AlphaTauri, Daniel Ricciardo coming back, replacing Nick de Vries. Suddenly, more pressure applied to Sergio Perez. And what does he go and do in FP1?
I know. It was a shock, to be honest with you. Of course, with him being under pressure already, to see him go out and crash the car like that, especially in practice session 1, is something that none of us were expecting. So it'll be interesting. He's got to come out now and I think do a good job. But it's interesting to see he had a lock-up a minute ago as well, so it's not been his best day to say the least. And then Ricciardo being back, obviously, it's fantastic news for everybody from being in the paddock with, of course, yourself and Zach. He brings quite a good vibe around
Braden's
him.
good.
Lucky enough to interact with him, say hello. And he's just always got that great big grin on his face. He makes everybody super happy. So I'm glad to see him back.
So Danny Rick's having a good time, but are you having a good time? Are you both enjoying it so far?
Brilliant time.
First experience in a paddock, and you've spoken to some big hitters already. Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Alex Albon, George Russell, and actually, Zach, you had a bit of one-to-one time with the 7-time world champion last night.
I did.
How was that? Was it beyond all belief?
It was beyond anything that I could ever imagine in my whole life. It was the best experience. It was the best day of my life. I mean, I got to meet one of the GOATs of F1, as I say, the GOAT of F1. 7-time world champion, 103 career poles, absolutely brilliant guy as well. He even let me sit in his car, and it was actually a brilliant experience. I couldn't have asked for better.
Wow. Oh, fantastic. Even I'm jealous of you both as well. And you can see all of that over the weekend across Sky Showcase and Sky Sports Mix and on the main Sky Sports F1 channel. But currently in Free Practice 2, Leclerc's just gone fastest, Zach, as well, along with Norris, Braden up there too. What's your take on Practice Over? Because Zach, we were saying, actually, you know, track evolution, we had the rain earlier in Practice 1, which kind of cleared away a bit of the rubber. What's your take so far in FP2?
Well, I think it's hard to read. Obviously, you get very different fuel loads for every car. As you see, Sonoda in a car that's probably nearer the bottom of the grid, already up in P4, and it's very hard to read. As I said earlier, you don't know who's going to be pole, who's going to be second, who's going to be third. And obviously, you saw Sergio Perez, massive cut in his confidence from FP1 crashing out. I mean, it's a horrible feeling, especially when I'm karting. When I crash out in practice, you're like, oh, I've lost a whole practice. And you're obviously at the back of the grid. It's a really horrible feeling. So he must feel really bad right now, and I hope he can make himself feel a bit better. Hopefully he gets a top 3 finish into Q3 again, but yeah, we'll hope and see.
Well, this is just some of the early track action we have on Friday. Of course, qualifying tomorrow and the race on Sunday, which we're going to be doing the commentary for. It's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be so much fun. So I hope you can find us on Sky Sports Mix and on Sky Showcase for F1 Juniors. We're looking forward to it, but we'll hand back to the adults for now, Crofty.
Never describe us as adults, Harry, ever. Thank you very much indeed to you, Zach, and to Braden. While we've been listening to some expert analysis there from the commentary box next door, I've had this message, Ted Kravitz. John Lennon Airport in Liverpool, they've got a radar air traffic controller vacancy if you're interested. Not that I'm trying to get rid of you, but if you want your dream job, you can apply, mate.
Excellent. All right, that'll take another 5 years of training, but thank you, John Lennon Airport. Look forward to that. Right, excellent stuff from Zach and Braden now, but how about how to be a pit reporter, because Scarlett, this is exactly, you are standing at exactly the spot I stand during the race. So during the race, we are not allowed into the pit lane. It's been the rule for many, many years. So I stand on this line so we can see pit stops from all up and down the pit lane. But what do you want to know about being a pit reporter?
Well, first of all, this is just an amazing view. I've never been this close, and you can feel it, like the car's going past you in your chest, and it's just amazing.
So the first thing you need to know, you need to eat this microphone.
I've got to eat the microphone. I've got to have it this close.
These are Rockstar microphones. So there's so much noise around here with Esteban Ocon going in. The only way they can hear us is if you absolutely shove it right up to your mouth. And don't worry about overloading it. You'll never overload it. It's a Rockstar microphone.
As loud as I can.
Now we can hear you, yes.
Right, I need to know, so you've got Ted's notebook, okay?
I have.
When are you going to update your supplies? Are you going to get a tablet? Or like a better looking notebook? You could get a pink one.
What
you
are
were
you
getting
saying?
all excited about bringing it out, but
What are you saying, Scarlett?
This is...
Do you know what?
It's falling apart.
It is falling apart, and it's expensive notebook because it's supplied to me
F1.
free. I don't pay for it, Scarlett. I get it free from Pirelli.
Wow. Well,
I know it makes it even worse.
He's got to use it.
Now
And I've got to, I can see you've got your sun cream on.
Yes.
And you've got your shorts on. What does the weather have to be for you to not be in shorts?
But look, you can understand now. Well, mine are 10 degrees or below.
Okay.
All I do, Scarlett, is dress appropriately for the conditions.
Yeah.
You look at mechanics from every other team up and down. The reason they're all wearing shorts is because they're very good workwear.
Yep.
If it rains, we've got waterproof legs, so you don't get your trousers wet. And if it's hot conditions like this, it just makes it easier. But if you picture it, so we're here, I'm here for the whole race. The sun is beating down from there. That's why I have to wear the sun cream. It looks silly on TV,
Army stripes,
but I don't care anymore.
And you can't wear open-toed shoes here, can you?
No, annoyingly,
I heard you like flip-flops.
I do, sandals.
Where do you get your flip-flops from?
I get them from well, it's a German firm. We shouldn't name them because it's a brand, but I think you know what the cork. The cork.
I've heard you love them.
But I do, but it's my fault they got banned all those years ago.
My gosh.
Yeah, the previous race director, Charlie Whiting, of course, no longer with us. He didn't like the way that I had my toes open, and it was my fault that open-toed shoes got banned.
I bet you've upset quite a few people with that.
I did. But listen, let me tell you, last thing as to how to be a pit reporter during the race. So if I see something, if there's a crucial pit stop, let's say Fernando Alonso is leading the race or he's second, and he comes in, Crofty might throw down to me, or he might throw down to you, Scarlett, and you will then see, you essentially say what you see. So the car comes in.
Just describe it.
Describe it. If something goes wrong, then this is the best place to be, and you are the person to tell the commentators, whether it's Zach, Braden, Crofty, Anthony, whoever, what's happened and why.
You've got the best view here, haven't you? I mean, you could just see everything. It's incredible.
It's not bad. There you go, Crofty. Pit Reporting 101 with Scarlett. She'll be down here with me. She'll be down. She's welcome to it. She'll be down here. I tell you what, you stay in this one. I'll go to the other gap and call the McLaren pit stops and the Ferrari pit stops.
That's a deal.
I could do with a bit of help down here.
Absolutely.
It needs to be a lot.
Job share for the Hungarian Grand Prix weekend. You both missed. Charles Leclerc having to stamp his brakes.
Yeah, Leclerc had to do that. Well, we shut up there for one very good reason. I have wanted to see what the F1 Juniors presentation team have been like. Absolutely top-notch team. I think they've got there as well. Not one of them you could falter on that commentary. That is a lot better. Also, from Zach and Braden up in the commentary box, I don't know, we usually stumble or fail over some of the words that we're trying to think because we're commentating quite quickly. They were amazing, very detailed. And Scarlett down in the pit lane, absolutely fantastic as well. BBC have got a job opening at the moment if she wants to go there this weekend. But that was brilliant. Motorsport Broadcasting, someone put Zayden, Brack and Scarlett on the permanent F1 Juniors feed. I think that those three permanently on an F1 Juniors broadcast is the way to go forward. They are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I could see that, Josh, and you know it's called. If Braden was this good, I could see him up there in the main com box when he gets a little older. I mean,
he's too good.
I was impressed with him. I mean, I mean, and Scarlett on pit road. I thought she was awesome. I mean,
the detail to call that is unbelievable. And I'll tell you what, though, you're right. Braden's a bit too good. I might have to go and, just elbow out of the way.
I mean, Josh, maybe find a way to contact Braden to have him
have them on the commentary. Yeah,
doing one of your broadcasts this year. I mean,
that would be great.
I think it'd be kind of cool, or maybe even Scarlett.
I'm going to see him as well. I'm definitely going to look into that because that is going to be brilliant to have them up in the commentary box as well to talk with.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, if Braden's this good here, I mean, who knows? I mean, I think he could have a career in broadcasting. I mean,
I hope so. Yeah.
And Scarlett and Zach, those three are. You put those three on F1 broadcast. Oh, I would listen. I would listen to them in a heartbeat. I mean, they got the knowledge.
They have.
They truly do have the knowledge.
And they've interviewed Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, and there's loads more. You can watch that, by the way. It's in the UK. It's on Sky Showcase, Sky Sports Mix, and the Sky F1 Red Button. In Germany, it's on Sky One and also on Sky General. And as well, I believe it's also going to be on ESPN, on a Red Button service on ESPN somewhere on one of those channels. If you want to take a look at it over in the States, I'm not too sure about that one, but yeah. Omi, what have you made of the session so far then as well? We've got Leclerc top 117.6. Then we've got Lando second, Gasly third, Tsunoda fourth, Ocon fifth. It's pretty much an interesting one because Verstappen down at 11th, and that's on Delta times as well. He's not improving.
I'd say they may be up pushing too much, but it's great to have. It is great to have Charles Leclerc right up there, right at the top. Brilliant to see. And hoping it remains that way, and I'm hoping that Red Bull stay about 11th, but Verstappen will manage to get back all the way up into first. So that's going to be annoying tomorrow. But Fridays and Saturdays I'd say are usually good, and then Sundays are a bit meh.
Yeah, I'll agree, homie. I'll agree.
Josh T, are you in the pit lane? Throwing to him when he's probably not even listening. He wasn't scheduled to be on, but he's sharing the TV pictures. I don't know if he's got a headphone on or something or other, just listening in. He's probably doing other things, but I'd like to get his thoughts on the F1 Juniors and the team as well, but all looks good. Leclerc, Norris, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ocon, top 5. I have set it to record, though, I must point out, and I will be listening. It also marks the first time that there are about 5 different broadcasts of the F1 race, because you've got, in the UK, because you've got the Sky F1 feed, you've got the Channel F4 feed, you've got the F1 TV feed, you've got the Radio 5 Live feed, and then you've got the F1 Juniors feeds. That's 5 different broadcasts of Formula 1 on. And you can't really say that it's not on free to wear, because that's going to be brilliant, with Harry Benjamin calling the race as well. That's going to be great. To be fair, I'm going to find a way to have some of that on the broadcast, just check in with them as well. That's going to be great. I'll have to find a way.
Yeah.
Although, hang on, I've just remembered I can control the Skybox now. So I suppose we can check in during like a safety car period. I can change the TV pictures. So yeah, we'll change it up. Go on.
Why not?
Yeah,
I mean, I think, I mean, like I said, Zach, Brandon, and Scarlett, if they have a future in broadcasting, that is a geek.
Definitely.
That is a given.
Yeah. Maybe some of them could replace some of the Fox NASCAR team. That could be something. Or for all of you viewers who like NASCAR on here, if you haven't heard already, Shane Van Gisbergen, who won on the streets of Chicago, is coming back to and he, along with fellow Repco Australian supercar driver Brody Kostecki, will be competing at the IMS Road Course along with Kamui Kobayashi and Jensen Button. So, and it's also it's the same weekend at the NTT IndyCar Series. We're going to be there. So, you want international flavor in both series? You got it. Yeah.
So we were just checking in with Joe Guan Yu. Check the floor I went wide into turn 4. Should be okay, he says.
Yeah.
And the team are going to be checking that. So 11 well, under 12 minutes now to go in this session. So, as we're currently watching Valtteri Bottas out of the final corner, Oscar Piastri also
He's with Ted.
in. Yep.
Mechanic's done a great job to get this car turned around. There was a danger
He's not.
that he wasn't going to make it out before the end of the session.
He's not.
What do you mean he's not?
He's. Oh, right.
Is it done?
That changed then.
What? Sorry, have you?
We were just watching from the side then, and yes, he's now
getting. Sorry, wait. Did you have some info that?
I saw a picture of Oscar Piastri without his crash helmet.
Sure, that
on,
was some time ago.
Then,
but I
then
believe.
it cut to the fact that he was.
Okay, right.
Apologies,
Sorry,
Ted,
sorry
for doubting, and I shouldn't.
Sorry, I
have
didn't know. I don't know what you're watching up there. But yeah, so Oscar's into the car. I don't know whether we'll get it out. I think we will get it. McLaren will get it out for the end of the session. So that's good news. Good work by the mechanics there.
Nice job in this session as
Thanks,
well.
Ted. Going back to the Joe Guan Yu moment. Oh,
2 seconds.
Some report of rain sector 2, small amount.
Which is
Rain sector 2, small amount is what we're being told, and I've just had a look at the weather radar as well. It's pretty much the same thing, so that could get fun. I agree with that.
Right.
Let us know if you like the F1 Juniors. Get in touch with us.
Yeah.
We want to know your opinion. This is what this is all about. It's a fan show. Go on, Omi.
Right, question to both you and Adam. So obviously we've had in the F2 now, with it being even more increased, we've had obviously now the hot rate in the F2 sessions, haven't we? For Vesti it was, we're getting some for Behrman. There was now they're planning it for F1, and basically they usually test these kind of things in F2 and F3, so they're testing it in Formula 2 obviously, but obviously they're going to need some drivers' permission, so we could get it for a few certain drivers. But what's your thoughts on this? Because personally, I'd say it can get very interesting, but I'd say I really did enjoy it in Austria during the feature race when Frederick Vesti was in the lead. He was getting chased by Richard Verschoor.
Yeah.
He had Doohan on the back. He had Ivasa. That was absolutely brilliant. And we were able to tell how.
Martin's down to 13.
Lucky for some, but nobody's had a big issue here. But it's actually quite a challenging corner. Could do with a bit more advertising around here, couldn't they? But they tipped the car in on the way in to 13, and every single driver is having to wait for the car to just settle down. Bit of understeer, front sliding, bit of oversteer, rear sliding, walking the car a little bit wide. If they carry too much speed in, like we're seeing with the AlphaTauri there, then they cheat the pit lane. Cheat as in a verb, really, on the exit to give them a little bit more space. That's the pit entry there. Then they flick left to get into the final corner. And even the Red Bull was moving in the middle of this turn 13. As we see, the McLaren really took a lovely tight line through there. The Williamses look quite good pretty much everywhere I've been watching it around the track, and the drivers pushing hard. I would say actually just about the worst car I've seen coming through here is the Mercedes. Both Mercedes drivers really having to work the steering wheel to keep the car online and to get some kind of traction. The Red Bull has got lovely stability and traction through the exit. So has the Aston Martin. Everything else, you can just hear the drivers squeezing the throttle pedal, just working. Let's see how Verstappen does through the exit. A couple of little movements steering, but a really throaty exhaust note for Verstappen as he headed up towards the last corner and then backed off. That tells you he can really give it maximum torque demand. This tyre usage, because it was wet this morning, we're really seeing a lot of laps and drivers pushing pretty hard through here. So this, of course, is towards the end of the lap when your tyres are probably screaming a little bit at this stage, having done so much work in so many slow corners previously. The cars are big, they're long, they're heavy, and they don't like these long, slow corners, and we see them all working very hard. Back to you, Crofty.
Cheers, Martin. Down there on the track as well at turn 13. Charles Leclerc still fastest. Omi, do continue with your point, please.
Well, where was I? Oh yeah. So obviously in the Austria feature race we had Vesti being chased down obviously by Duhan, but then we got the safety car, and then we had Vershaw, Ivasa all going for it, and we were able to see how Vesti was actually feeling right before he was overtaken by Vershaw. It was really interesting. It was really interesting when he had 3 cars literally in behind. We had 4 cars battling in total with Vesti in the lead. But it was really interesting to see on that occasion how Vesti. It was really interesting to see how Vesti was actually feeling. How was it in the car at that exact moment when he was being chased down? So personally, I find the graphic. Good at certain points. I also in practice sometimes it's good to see how they are through certain corners. So I've personally enjoyed it. What about you, Josh and Adam?
Adam, you want to go first on the heart rate graphic?
Yeah, I always like, when they show the graphic of the heartbeat, to me it's really nice to, to see it go back and forth, and it's good for the fans, to see how the drivers are feeling, their reactions. So I always like the heartbeat monitor when they show it on screen. I've enjoyed it, and hopefully it continues well into the future.
I think it will. They've got the gloves, of course, the biometric data gloves, which tells you heart rate, blood pressure, and everything else that the drivers have. As sort of a safety system. Oh, here's Hamilton.
I got no grip, man.
Yeah, Hamilton.
Long run data is very useful. Others look like they're having similar issues.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking.
Yeah, Lewis said he's got no grip, and I can see that. I'm on his onboard camera now on the timing tower. I'm just having a look at it now, and he is really struggling out there for grip. Every single corner, the car is just stepping out the back, and it's creating nothing but drama for him. So fingers crossed he's going to get that fixed, and he'll be feeling a little bit more ship shape going into the remainder of the weekend. But this is long run data. He's done a total, Lewis Hamilton, of he's only done this session on the same medium tyre compound. 3 to 4 to 3 to 6 to 10. He's done 22 laps in total on that tyre. 22 laps on the medium, so it is long run data. So it needs to be done. Has anyone noticed the fake bridge graphic at the last corner? Where? Yeah.
I've seen it.
I'm seen.
And Josh. Upright Fossil says I think JB should be the only play-by-play announcer for racing in the entire world. Well, Upright Fossil, I will say, Alan Bestwick did a really good job at calling. Has done a really good job calling motorsports. Mike Joy has done a good job. Ken Squire, Eli Gold. So, those are some names that I grew up on, listening to. So, but I will say, Josh does a really good job, covering all forms of motorsports. So, maybe one day the FIA will, reach out to Josh and say, have him call an F1 race, on Sky Sports, have fun alongside, Crofty and Art Brundle and Ted Kravitz. I mean, I think it's time.
The ego in me would take the lead. What again?
I want Josh play-by-play though. If he's alongside Crofty.
Oh, I'll take over from Crofty. Let's go down to Ted.
Who was upset earlier? He's called Oliver, and his dad. They're from Budapest, and his dad has come to every Hungarian Grand Prix for 20 years. But this is Oliver's first. He is a big Checo fan. His dad. They're both Red Bull fans, but Oliver particularly loves Checo. Loves his style. Loves his Mexican flair. I think you can see the dad. And little Oliver, the dad's wearing a Max hat.
I think we could a few moments ago, yeah.
And Oliver's wearing the Checo hat, and they are guests of Red Bull. They've been in the garage watching Checo, and their day has been made. So that's the details on the little boy who was upset earlier when Checo went off, but is now having the day of his life. Good for him.
That's what I love about this sport. absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
To give you a bit more
Yes.
info. All right,
When I-
Fossils, too kind. Thank you. That's helping me as well. I was still, trying to not stress out about things. But, go on, Amy.
When I get to a Grand Prix, my goal is actually going to be to meet Alex Cheeks somehow, somewhere, some way.
You know where to go, don't you? You need to go to the commentary box area because they're always in the grandstand area, so you just need to go hang around there.
Well, I don't know. I've never been to. I don't know all of the axes. Am I even allowed there?
Well, right, which part of the track, which track are you looking at going to?
For an F1 race?
Yeah.
Possibly. Right, I have the calendar right there. Could be going either Imola, Monaco, Spain, Austria.
Okay, wait,
well,
one at a
let's
time.
just say
One
European races.
One at a time,
That
then. Okay, so Imola, commentary box is main grandstand. Just go hang around there as well. What's the next one? So Monaco. Monaco is in a grandstand, but it's next to the Riviera, so it's quite hard to get to because it's a closed-off area. Spain. Spain is the easiest commentary box to meet with commentators because literally, the commentators have to go up in the lift and in the doors. So just hang around the lift area or the stairs in the grandstand to the commentary box. There's only one set of staircases up to the main box, so it's the one on the closest to the right-hand side of the track. So just go there and you find them. Canada, Austria, again, main grandstand, so they have to go through the fans. Silverstone, you can't get to that, I'm afraid, because Silverstone's is in the paddock area for their commentary boxes. Hungary, Hungary's the easiest to get to. Hungary is literally, the commentary box is in the general admission area. That's why everyone always complains it's the worst of the year to get to the commentary box. Belgium's is in the paddock, so you can't get there. So's the Dutch Grand Prix, you can't get in there. Italy, again, main grandstand area, so you can go and get them there in the commentary box. So that's around about it, really, for the European ones.
I'll push for Spain and Hungary.
Yes, they're the two easiest to get to.
Just
for
to meet
grandstands.
Alex Cheeks.
Yeah, they're the two easiest to get to. Just make sure he's trackside for those ones, and he's not in Biggin Hill.
Oh, I really do hope. I need to figure it out, though. If he... I need to literally ask if he is. Like, what would be the best way of contacting him, then?
Instagram. Find out where yeah. That's why I've been texting. Brad says, I'm not sure about the new tyre rule. You can't drive anything from this practice. You can't derive anything from this practice session. It's like a sprint practice 2 session from last season. Austria is almost sold out. Yeah, Austria is almost sold out for next year, so you have to get on that quick, by the way. If you want to get to Austria, Brad's right. But yeah, you are right. It's been a bit of a useless session. Everyone's been doing long runs for the race because you can't do it tomorrow because you're limited on tyres. So I would say practice 3 tomorrow is going to be a key session, and then qualifying will know sort of everything else, but I don't know. Adam, have you looked to go to any F1 races? Because I know you do a lot of NASCAR races and
it's called in due time. I would like to go to COTA one day. It'll be the closest one for me. So maybe one day I'll get to COTA. I'd love to go, and explore the track. So
double yellow, sector 15 and 14. Now that could be the last corner, but I think Piastri has everyone crossed the line? Yes. So this is the practice start.
Sector 14 and 15 is turn 11 and 12. First all safety car.
So,
Test.
Yeah, this is the test then. Let's come into it. Hello, Josh.
Right.
Hello.
What I was gonna say is actually, my dad's been wanting to go to America for a while, so I was like, how about we maybe go COTA? So maybe I'd have a meet up there. Maybe.
Yeah, for Omi, you and Jack could come over here where I live in the state of North Carolina, and I will say it is a real beautiful part of the United States. You guys come over here, and I could take you to some fabulous restaurants, and I could.
Your restaurants, I want to go. Yeah.
You guys could get some authentic North Carolina barbecue.
Tell you what, Adam, everything you say about it, I want to. All those restaurants you've talked about over the years around your area, they are literally so delightful. There's a burger and milkshake place you've told me about, and every time I want a burger and milkshake, I always want to go to that restaurant. It sounds brilliant.
Are you talking, are you talking about the one called Cookout?
That's the one, Cookout. Yeah, you told me about it on the
Yeah.
network, yeah.
Okay, yeah. 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 And, yeah, it's called You and Omi and Josh need to come over here to come over here stateside one day and then we all could go to Charlotte, and go look at all the NASCAR teams, since they're around Charlotte. I mean, you could go see Hendrick Motorsports and Team Penske. You could go see Joe Gibbs Racing. I mean, they're not far. They're not far.
This is what I need to go. I need a road trip in America. That's what I need, a proper road trip.
Yeah, I mean, you guys need to come over here. I mean, one of these days, I do want to come over there to the UK.
Yes.
It's called. And I think we're at the end of practice number 2. So, first was Charles Leclerc, second was Lando Norris, and third was Pierre Gasly. So, it was an all right.
Yeah, I think that's
practice 2. But I think once we hit practice 3 and qualify, I think that'll give us a general idea of can anyone take down Max Verstappen?
Oh no! My Amazon parcel is running late, and that's my nephew's birthday present.
Ah.
What?
Oh.
I don't believe that. Oh, for goodness sake. I'm not seeing
Well,
when it's going to arrive.
I thought it was a bit of technology, so I found it funny, but well, not in that instance then.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's not. Yeah. Package delayed in transit. So basically, they've got to 5 p.m. and the guy. Oh my. Oh, ridiculous. So I can't even do anything. Right, I've now got to go call my sister. Okay. So, second practice ends. Leclerc, Norris, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Alonso, Zhou, Sainz top 10, Verstappen, Stroll, Albon, Magnussen, Hamilton, Sargent, Perez, Piastri and Russell. Not really a session we can take across many things, but we'll be back. IndyCar, first practice, 8 o'clock this evening. Tune in for that. It's going to be very good as well. The IndyCar radio will take you through qualifying tomorrow. Then we'll be back for race 1 and then race 2. It's a different weekend of how it works with it being a double-header, just one qualifying to determine the grid for both races. And it's on right at the same time as a Formula 1 session, so IndyCar Radio taking you through that. And then we'll be back tomorrow with all the action kicking off with Formula 3's sprint race. My thanks to Adam, my thanks to Romy, my thanks to Josh in the pits and to Tom as well. We'll see you all tomorrow for the Saturday qualifying day from the Hungarian Grand Prix. Bye-bye.